The next step I do to make a really strong outline for a novel is the nutshell technique. Hi guys, I'm oddfud. This month I am doing a Rebel NaNoWriMo where I'm doing an all prep NaNoWriMo, all prep, all season, all the time. And I'm just writing a bunch of outlines. Along the way I wanted to show the steps that I take in order to make a really strong outline to make it easy for me to sit down and write 50,000 words like you would do for NaNoWriMo. Today I'm going to talk about the nutshell technique, which is my favorite. It is definitely what brought me from not confident in my writing ability to confident in my writing ability when I learned how to do it. Before we get into it, we're going to go over some terms. Now, you should have already done the story circle from yesterday's video and also know a little bit about your character. So the first thing you need to know is your protagonist. Why are you using this particular character? Why does this character need to be the character that goes through your story? The plot cannot stand alone without your protagonist. Your protagonist is vital. The second thing you need is the flaw. The flaw is your hang-up or your insecurity or the personality trait that gets in the way of what the protagonist wants. So at the beginning of the story, there's always something missing, like we talked about in the story circle. There's something missing from their regular day. And the protagonist wants more. There's something that is missing, and the reason that they don't have it yet is because of their flaw. The setup want is what launches your character into the story, and it gets to the point of no return, which is the next term. The point of no return is an event which, once you pass through that threshold, there's no going back. Say you wanted to get a job, then you get a job and you start working there. The catch is the price you pay. We talked about this in the story circle, the heavy price that you pay. Something that comes with the setup want that they don't want. At the point of no return, that's when the catch starts to happen, and then that's when things start to get rolling. This catch has to test your flaw. The crisis has no easy solution. It happens at the opposite state of the high point and the setup want. The climactic choice is when the protagonist chooses to turn away from their flaw. It's unexpected, but it's inevitable. The climactic choice is conceived at the point of no return. The final step always has to show how much the protagonist has changed through the whole story. And then the strength is oftentimes a reflection of your flaw in some way. Your flaws always have another side where it is something strong about. A flaw in my case might be that I'm very shy and very quiet, but the other side of that is that I'm very thoughtful and I have a very rich inner world, and sometimes I don't have my setup want, but the reason I change and I'm able to overcome and get the things that I need in the story is because of my strengths. Alright, so now that we're done with our vocab, we're going to put this out in a map. That's going to make it a lot easier to map your story out. So if you follow this map, there's highs, there's lows, there's highs, there's lows, there's highs, there's lows. And then at the end, you embrace everything. The protagonist, remember the plot cannot stand alone without them. The protagonist is vital. The flaw is constantly tested and it gets in the way of the wants. The setup want is what propels the story forward. And it is often shown in the first dialogue. When you get the setup want, it's called the point of no return, and then that means that nothing can go back to the start. and then there's the catch. The catch has to test the flaw. After we get to the catch, things start to go poorly. So this is where we have like the bad guys close in and the dark night of the soul. So things keep going poorly until you're at the crisis, which is opposite of the mood of the setup one. So this is definitely the low point. This is if this is the high point, this is the low point. And then we cannot get to the final step unless we go through the important climactic choice. The climactic choice moves the protagonist from their flaw to their strength. Final step will always show how much the character has changed. It not only shows you like the ups and downs of the story, it can break it up into 3 different acts. So here's Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. The reason I love this technique the most out of any of the techniques, even more than the story circle, is that it really, the very first thing you think about is their flaw, your protagonist's flaw and their strength. And the story cannot happen on its own. It needs the protagonist because the protagonist has this flaw and this strength. So that is the way that I like to write protagonist and character-based stories. So that is why this technique is so good for me. I really think it's important to do these steps in order. You start with thinking about your character and their personality diamond, and then that can help you get out of the writer's block. That can help you go see your character's motivation and what kind of actions they take. Then you can think about the story that they go through, and then you can think about why you chose that protagonist to go through that story. So that is the nutshell technique. I hope I did it justice. It is very important to me. If you have any questions about it that I didn't quite explain very well, then please let me know. I'd love to learn more by answering your questions. I'd love to learn more from you if you have anything that you have to say about the nutshell technique. Have you used it in the past? How have you used it in a way that might be different from mine? I hope you're seeing how all of this kind of goes in order and flows from one step to the next. Tomorrow's is one that I had never heard of, and the first time I did it I was like, wow, this is really important, and that's coming up in tomorrow's video. So ring the bell to be notified when that video comes out. Please, if you've made it this far, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know that I'm doing a good job explaining myself, that I'm doing a good job sharing my different techniques that I use, and that I'm sharing content that people like to see. That also helps YouTube to know that these kind of videos are ones that you like to see, and that helps kind of promote everybody who's making these kind of videos. If you want to see more about my writing journey, I will be posting more this whole entire month. I'll be talking about my prepping and outlining and getting myself ready to really sit down and write at a really fast pace. And hopefully in the future I will be able to show more techniques, and maybe I can show some of my journey of writing some more, and editing, which I have not tackled yet, finding an agent, and hopefully someday getting published. Please leave me a comment. Don't forget to stop back in and see more of the steps that are coming up. Thanks so much for watching today, and I will see you next time. Bye!